Virgo, hello. Welcome to your summer 2022 shapeshift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like. I'm Amanda, I'm your reader. Let's get into it. You know, Virgo, before we even get into this too deeply, I'm already feeling this really interesting mystical energy. Like everything, as soon as I shifted into and asked for your reading, everything got very deep, very mysterious, very quiet. Very, it was like suddenly very deep magic was here. It was very high priestess, if you're familiar with that archetype. I felt like some witchy shit was about to happen. I hope so. Let's see, Virgo. The shapeshift for Virgo. Summer 2022, or whenever you find this reading. That was fast. Oh, wow. Just give me a second here. You know, check this out. You're shifting out of the Page of Coins into the Knight of Wands through the Ten of Wands. And this is fascinating. It feels to me with the Page of Coins like you almost reach for something. And then it's like, you decide to give it up the last minute. And that switch, like check it out. Half horse, half person on horseback. And they are back to back with the Page and the Knight. And the thing in between is the Ten of Wands, which is essentially giving up a burden. And so it's almost like, Virgo, you reach for something that is, I almost said something else, that's going to stack on top of your already pretty stacked pile or load that you're carrying. And then it's like, you'd go ahead and decide to just burn it all. It's like you realize upon picking up that extra coin that, oh, okay, wow, this has actually become too heavy. It's actually too much. I'm just going to drop all of this stuff that I'm carrying, like all of this stuff that has become a burden, that has become too heavy, and I'm going to have a bonfire. And then it looks like the Knight of Wands is escaping from that bonfire. Are you with me? Do you follow? It's like, do you really need one more thing, Virgo? That's a little bit how this Page of Coins feels to me. I was like, do you really need one more thing on your plate? But there is something sort of, I'll have to really work this through, because there is something sort of mysterious about it. It's like there's a switch, it's either like you're almost grabbing it and then you realize it's too heavy, right? Like, oh my gosh, I almost did it to myself again. Like I almost put another thing on the schedule. I almost gave myself another job to do. And then you're like, oh, right. I'm ending cycles of heaviness. Because here in the Ten of Wands, we're seeing someone that's got a really heavy load to carry, a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight on their shoulders. And it's like, it's already blocking the direction they're walking in. They're holding it like right in front of their face and like trying to walk forward. I think the shift for you maybe is that like past you, you know, previous versions of you, Virgo, would have gone ahead and reached for the thing. Like you would have put one more thing on your earthly to-do list. But maybe part of what you're learning is to lighten your load. And so moving through your shapeshift through the Ten of Wands is essentially a movement of ridding yourself of excess and clearing out anything extraneous and anything that's actually too much, that is too much weight on you, that is too much responsibility, that is not yours to hold. And it is in having that, laying all those wands on the fire and lighting it up, you know, having that bonfire, you ride off out of there. It's like you, and in this card, we're seeing someone sort of narrowly escaping a really intense fire. It does feel a little bit to me like a narrow escape, you know, like you almost did it, Virgo, or something almost happens, or maybe does happen, that is too much, but you manage to escape it. You manage to get out of there and ride free. You know, the Knight of Wands is a free rider. The Knight of Wands is like, wait. I remember I want to be spontaneous. You know, like I feel like Virgo does have to remember that. Like, oh yeah, right. I can't saddle myself with that because I want to be able to change on a dime. I want to be able to be a little freer in my movements. So I can't take on something that would add to my weight if I want to be able to travel lightly. So there is something to this about remembering that rather than prioritizing one more thing where you are, it's almost like you're prioritizing the ability to move with freedom and to, I just keep feeling like travel lightly, move freely. Like even, this doesn't even have to be literal. It could be like maintaining lightness of spirit, like whatever that is. It's just, all of it is anti-heaviness, and picking up one more piece of earth is absolutely adding to the weight. Or would be. And so sometimes you got to burn that. But it's almost like that Ten of Wands is the catalyst, the bonfire that you needed. You like giving up something that you've been carrying and you've been holding, you've been thinking is your like coin that you're reaching for, and then like giving that up feels like this huge exhale and this huge burden off of you. And it's like as soon as that is done, as soon as that's off of you, you're off like the Knight of Wands, you know, like you're off. You're moving faster and lighter and more passionately than ever before. It's like you're totally lit up by this choice to relieve yourself of extra burden or of something heavy that you've been holding on to, and you've been shouldering some sort of responsibility that you maybe don't need. Last season's reading was so much about remembering joy and remembering lightness of being and like trusting it and feeling like it is real and it is a real state of being for you. And this is like the next step of that in the practical world, like the practical application of that emotional realization is, oh, right, I'm not going to continue to shoulder things that add to heaviness for me emotionally, physically, materially. Remembering lightness of being, remembering being able to travel swiftly and lightly and with your passions and from a more passionate, alive space. from the space that truly lights you up. There's something here about like no shoulds, you know, like be wary of anything that feels like I should keep carrying this. Like question it. Some of those shoulds might be true, but it's like question them so that you are ensuring that you're moving from this space of true passion and true aliveness and true yes, which is inherently lighter than I have to, or I should, or okay, I guess I can. Okay, Virgo, let's get into this now. I think we need to go deeper. I'm going to use some other decks here and get clarifying. So if you would like to stick around for the full reading, the link is in the description box below. That'll take you to the shifting space where we as a community can move through our shape shifts together throughout the entire season, the whole summer season. So, you know, we'll move together, we'll chat, we'll meet. And it's really a place where if you want to go deeper and really follow this shapeshift, that's the place to do it with support and a little bit of guidance, a little bit of a roadmap. So if you're into it, I hope you join me there and watch the rest of this reading and connect throughout the season.